All right, thank you so much for coming back, I guess I should say. So during the break, we had several wonderful conversations, and one important one for those of y'all, I don't know if everyone's in Williamson County, but there's a smart 411, tell me, thank you, not 411, smart 911 system here in, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong now, here in Williamson County, where you go to smart 911, is it .org, or do you happen to know? I guess you could Google, or Shirley might Google it and let us know a little bit later. And you can input your information, such as your health conditions, your drugs. It's tied to your phone number, so if 911 is called, they can pull up all that information. And someone might know more information than me. I live in Travis County. So if someone knows more information, please educate all of us. But that is one other thing you can do, and I'm sure you can go in and update as things change. All right. Okay, well, we are moving on now to paperwork. So the forms, where are my forms? And again, those of you who have your forms done, this will just be a refresher. Those of you who may need to update your forms, you've got it here. And those of you who haven't done your forms, now's your opportunity. All right, I always like to start with the medical power of attorney. It's this one right here at the very top. It says medical power of attorney. First, a couple of things. We've already mentioned that, if you're in one state and then you go between states, I think it's best to have a separate set. I do think they will honor them as long as they're documents that have all the information that they need. These are forms for Texas, all right? So if you need other forms, they're available on the website. Just make sure you use a .gov and not something else. You want to do it. We have extras too. We can give you extras if you've got family member, friends, loved ones that need to do a set of their documents. We can get that to you. You don't need to go pay anybody or anything else. We can do it for free, and we're happy to do it. All right, so Texas forms right here. There's 3 important ones. To me, this is almost the most important, because what this is, the medical power of attorney is if you are not able to make your health care decisions, who is going to make those health care decisions for you? And we've touched on this a little bit earlier. As long as you are cognizant, as long as you have your mental faculties above you, you always make your own decisions. Well, I thought, well, God, yeah, that's duh. But back again when I was an admissions nurse, I walked into the hospital room and there were, I kid you not, there were probably 15 or 20 people around this older gentleman. And everybody's talking and everything else. And the way I operate is I always talk to the patient unless the patient says, please talk to my whatever. So I'm talking to the patient and he just said, whatever my family wants is fine. He basically, I don't want to say checked out, but he basically said, one of the questions we looked at as our book is, do you want to make all your decisions or do you want the doctor to? He was fine with whatever the family decided for him. All right, well, that's fine. I just hope he had his medical power of attorney done, because there were a lot of people in that room. Yes, ma'am?
That's one of the things I was going to say is if you have a medical power of attorney, like one of our children is that, one of our children is set up as executor, but make sure they everybody knows, because you don't want, what I don't want is my kids getting in a fight over some situation with me.
Aren't you a nice mom?
Forever, so let go of me and have each other.
Yeah, yes, thank you. And that brings home something that I always say is, you declare your medical power of attorney, and you need to think really seriously and very, very thoughtfully about who you want to be. Maybe it is not your spouse. Maybe it is not your oldest child. It is that person who is going to do your wishes. If you have a son, daughter that is just going to fall apart and they're not going to be able to do anything because they're just going to be an absolute mess, that's not a good medical power of attorney. And whoever you decide, you want to A, talk to them, B, you want to ask them, even if it is your spouse, go ahead and ask your spouse, hey, do you mind being my medical power of attorney? And don't get mad at them if they don't want you to be their medical power of attorney, okay? So you want to ask them, you want to, and then talk to them about what it means, because a lot of people will say, I don't know, what does that mean? And then you want to have those conversations several times about what it is that you want, what's important to you, all right? And that's the hard stuff. And yes, you want to ask, and if it's not going to be the person who thinks they should be the medical power of attorney, you want to be a good citizen of the world and let them know, I'm sorry, you're not my medical power of attorney because I think it will be too hard for you. I don't want to put that burden on you. You fall apart watching TV commercials, so. All right? Yes, ma'am.
Talk for a minute about the feasibility of being a medical power of attorney for someone who lives out of state or for having someone out of state be your medical.
Yes. Repeat the question. Y'all remind me if I'm not doing this. So the question is, what about someone who is out of state being a medical power of attorney? What's the feasibility of that? And it's, nowadays we have FaceTime, we have phones, we have everything like that. So yeah, unless it's like some really, they're in Vietnam and they're 12 hours ahead or somewhere like that, it's kind of a crazy time change, I would say fine. I always, but if they're out in the Gulf on an oil rig and there's sketchy phone service or whatever, probably not a good person to do that. But yeah, there's medical power of attorneys all the time that are out of state or whatever, and they know it and they're involved because they've talked to the doctor or perhaps they FaceTime or they're there. I mean, when I was at admissions, I would have people on the phone or FaceTime and they would be there. My mother-in-law was in Minnesota. She has kids in several different states. They were all together on a conference call while the doctor was there. So it's a little bit rough, but the doctor can deal with it. It's fine. So yes, that can be done, but just they're going to probably call is what they're going to do, or get you on FaceTime. So you want to be able to get a hold of that person, and then they need to know, and then be aware. Of course, if they go into the hospital, or gosh, they've gone on hospice, let the medical power of attorney. Hopefully, they would know that anyways, but let them know and keep them informed. Okay.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What if you have no family members, even in another state, that you would like to be medical power attorney? Can you purchase services?
Yes, there are folks that will be kind of your executors, or that can be your medical power of attorney, and that's I would and Shirley, you're going to have to help me out here. I would refer you to legal aid, and then I would also refer you to AGE. Well, it's Austin Groups for the elderly, but they we like Georgetown. So those agencies that can help you out with that. Shirley, do you have any other?
Yeah, there are some nurse navigation
Nurse
services
navigators, thank you.
that do that. Patient advocates, and they'll go with you to doctor's appointments with your medical power of attorney, walk with you along that.
Yeah.
I can give the information to Beverly.
And y'all need to interview, if you need to do that, or if you know of folks, make sure you do your due diligence, and how much is it going to cost, and what do they do, and get references and call those references. You know what kind of person I am already, so your belt and suspenders, you don't want to just do that, because that's very important stuff. So, okay. Any other questions? All right. Medical power of attorney. So we started with, this only comes into play when you can't make your own medical decisions or you don't want to. The first line is I, that's you, your full legal name. And then the name and the address is your first person you want. You've talked to them, they've said, yes, I'll do it. Y'all have had multiple conversations about what you want done. Their name goes there, all righty? And their phone number. Limitations on decision-making authority. This means that, are they limited? Like they're only limited for, I'm going out of the country for the month of February, and it's only for the month of February. We don't really see that much, because if someone's going to be your medical power of attorney, most people say it's for when I need you, it's for the duration. First alternate and second alternate can be anyone over the age of 18 that you've talked to already, you've gotten their permission and you've had those conversations. People sometimes say, well, I can't think of a second alternate, or I strongly encourage you to have at least one first alternate, and if you can have two, all the better. Just make sure the phone numbers and everything are correct. For those of you who have already done your paperwork, if you find that, oh, they cut their landline and now I need to put their cell phone, just redo it. Don't cross it out and initial it. Just redo it. It's fairly easy to redo. You just need a clean form. The original of the document is kept at. You can put that down there. You're going to be giving it to so many different people that you can fill that out. The following institutions, again, you can fill that out or not, because you're going to give it to your doctor. If you go into hospitals frequently for infusions or whatever, you're going to give it to them. Your medical power of attorney, probably family members. If you have neighbors that you've had forever and they're part of your care team, you'll probably give it to them too. On the back, again, is duration. That would be the date. And if you do put a date here, you need to make a calendar invite so you go back in and you redo this after that date, okay? Because a lot of, we forget, stuff happens. And if you say this is only good until the end of April 2024, well then you don't have an MPOA after we come June, so, or May. I don't really know. I guess if you're going out of the country and the whole family's going with you or something like that, all your MPOAs are going with you and you need to have a
surgery?
Well, no, if you're having a surgery, your regular MPOA should be able to do it, unless they're going to be out of the country, maybe all of your alternates or something are going out of the country, so you need just a temporary one. But again, make yourself a note to go back in and redo this then, because you don't have an MPOA after that date is expired. So that's why we encourage you not to do that. But if you have to, it's there for you. Okay. Then we have all the legal documentation, and then on the next page, it talks about the definition of a witness. All right, y'all know that I'm belt suspenders. You can have family members, but I like to keep it clean, and I say no family members, no one who's going to benefit from your death, so no one who's going to get the favorite chair or the car, any caretakers or anything like that. It should not be a witness. And what you don't want to do is create controversy for the family about, oh, well, so-and-so signed that because they're going to get mom's diamond ring or whatever, the Bitcoin cryptocurrency account number or whatever you guys might have. So I say keep it clean and just don't do relatives. Shirley and I, we're always twosies. We come out in twos so we can be witnesses. It can be anybody. And these days, people are afraid to witness something. The only thing they're witnessing is your signature. They're not witnessing that this is, all true and correct and everything. They're saying, I saw Joe sign this on this date. That's all they're witnessing. So you can do a notary. Don't sign it, though, if you're going to do a notary until the notary sees you. Or you can have two witnesses, and that's the back. It's the first and second, all right? That's it. So the paperwork itself is really easy. The decisions leading to the paperwork can be difficult. All right, that's your medical power of attorney. Yes, ma'am, I'll get right to you. We are here now. If you know it and you know everything and you just need to sign it and update it, we can do that afterwards, and we'll just charge a thank you for that, all right? Yes, sir. Ma'am, whoever.
On the back here where it says the power of attorney ends on the following date, can you put upon death instead of a date?
I'm sorry, where are you?
On the back of the front page.
The back of the front page.
Or the last date for the power
Oh, it always ends on your death.
upon death.
It ends on your death. You can put that, sure, but it's going to end on your death. I mean, if you die, then there's no reason to have a medical.
But instead of having to put a date.
Sure, you can put upon death. Some people like to have all the blanks filled in because they've worked with lawyers or whatever, and so never leave anything blank and draw. And in the medical field, you never leave a chart without a line through it, so you don't want someone to add something after you've signed off. But yeah, sure. But it ends. That's a good point, though. This ends upon the death of this person. The person. Yes, sir.
So, when you have all these advanced directives, but you also have the medical power of attorney, I'm going to give you two hypotheticals. Let's say I have a DMO
This is your medical, okay, the question, I'm sorry, let me repeat. The question is, I'm a DNR, and my medical power of attorney doesn't want me to be a DNR, they're gonna override my decision. Flip side is, I'm not a DNR, my medical power of attorney is going to flip the switch and I'm gonna be a DNR, they're not gonna resuscitate. Correct, is that what, okay. Yeah, is the answer. Well, and that's why I go back to choose wisely.
It's not my system.
Yeah. Let the buyer beware, caveat emptor, right? I'm sorry. Yeah. And that's why, going back, I think it was Beverly who said, it's so much easier to do this paperwork now than when you're in the thick of things. And hopefully everyone has wonderful family dynamics, but the worst family dynamics come out in cases of when someone is dying. I've seen it over and over. Shirley has seen it over and over. So going back to that gift. So yes, you choose wisely, and you let all your family members know. And most of the time when they don't want to, if you're a DNR and they don't want to let you go, is because they have feelings of guilt or whatever. And the easiest and the best thing you can say is, this is what Dad wanted. This is what my loved one wanted. We are doing what Dad wanted. You are not. We need to do what Dad wanted. He put it down. He put it in writing. We'll go over our little booklet later. He made a note. He said, if you do not allow my DNR, I'm going to come back and haunt you and all your relatives for the next 100 years, or whatever. So I think talking it through. And again, it goes back to family dynamics. I know some families, just the dynamic is not good. And so you want to be really, really sure of what you want and let everybody know. Put it in writing. And, that's when you want to have the DNR kind of plastered everywhere and let the doctor know and everybody else that this is what I want. Okay. We finished the medical power. Any more questions about medical power of attorney? Okay. All right. Again, no scratch outs or no, just redo it. All right, directive to physician, we'll do that one next. And if y'all forget what all these are for, the back side of this gives the nice definition of everything. So everything we've talked about is in your packet, or we can get you information. So the directive to physicians, family, or surrogates, oftentimes is called the living will. And this is kind of what you're telling the doctors and what you're telling your family, kind of what you want as far as medical treatment-wise. Do you administer everything? Do you withdraw life-sustaining treatments when you have a terminal or irreversible condition? And oftentimes folks are confused. What is terminal? What is irreversible? And that the definitions are on that last page, because there is a difference. You kind of decide what treatment you want. Two scenarios: irreversible condition, terminal condition. I'm going through here. So your name goes here, and this is for a terminal condition. I request that all treatments other than those needed to keep me comfortable be discontinued or withheld, and my physician allow me to die gently, allow natural death, or I want to be kept alive in this terminal condition using life-sustaining treatment. And you can do, people oftentimes say, well, maybe I want everything for a month, or depending on what I have. You can do addendums to this. I mean, you can put, we had one time where a woman literally had 4 pages of, if this happens, do this, if this happens, do that. I can't think of that many scenarios. But you can do addendums to this. And then the second one is an irreversible condition. And we should probably go over those definitions. So, irreversible means a condition, injury, or illness that may be treated but is never cured or eliminated. So that would be something like a dementia. Dementia is irreversible. Unfortunately, we don't have a cure. It doesn't look like we have a cure coming or anything like that. Leaves a person unable to care or make decisions for the person's own self, and without life-sustaining treatment provided in accordance with the prevailing standard is fatal. So that's irreversible. Terminal, an incurable condition caused by injury, disease, or illness that according to reasonable medical judgment will produce death within 6 months. So that should go ding, 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 ding. Oh, that's a hospice definition right there. Even with available life-sustaining treatment provided in accordance with the prevailing standard of medical care. So that doesn't mean you have to be on hospice to do that. That's just the two conditions on this form. So the bottom part is irreversible condition. If my physician says I have an irreversible condition, I cannot care for myself or make decisions, then do I want just comfort treatment given, or do I want life-sustaining treatment? And the big bold there saying this selection does not apply to hospice care. You never waive your comfort care, all right? So symptom management comfort care is always there, unless you say, I don't want comfort care. Can't imagine why you might say that, but you never waive comfort care. So no matter what you choose, comfort care is always there. And when EMS comes, they're going to do comfort care if you're a DNR. They're not just going to say, okay, call us when there's nothing going on. We'll be down the road. They're going to be there making you comfortable. All right? Okay. Back page. Any particular treatments? This will come into play oftentimes. Jehovah's Witnesses don't want blood products, so they would put, I don't want blood products. Sometimes people say, I don't want chest compressions, but go ahead and do AEDs and do intubation or something of that nature. So that's where you can, and then again, if it's not enough, you can put an addendum to this. It says here, the next line is, if I do not have a medical power of attorney, I'm doing it. This is who I want. This is who I say is my medical power of attorney. You can say that, but I sure would follow it up with the actual document. If you're going to make them your medical power of attorney, make it on the document, the medical power of attorney form, okay? Because if you can put their name down there, then you can put it on the regular document. All right. All righty, and then you sign, you date, and then 2 witnesses again. And, I think witness 1, not related to you, not a healthcare provider. But again, I go back to my adage is just don't do relatives, don't do anyone who's taking care of you, a caregiver or anything like that. I like to keep it clean. That's what I say. Okay, questions? No, ma'am. No, none of them have to have a notary. You can have a notary on that MPOA, but remember, it's either a notary or 2 witnesses, The notary is first, so everybody gets confused and thinks they have to have a notary. Then on the back page, it says or. Question was, this one doesn't need a notary. None of them need a notary. Okay? Okay. Any questions about that? Okay. Now we'll go to the out-of-hospital DNR, which is the one nobody can read without a magnifying glass. But it is 1 page. And all the definitions, again, are on the back. Pull out that magnifying glass or take a picture and blow it up with your phone because you can't read it. So we've talked quite a bit about do not resuscitate. We've talked quite a bit about do not resuscitate. Again, you can fill this out, have the doctor sign it, file it away, and say, whenever I need it, I know where it is, I can pull it out, and I can use it. It's done. Or you can say, I'm not ready for this yet. I'll just keep the blank over here and go on and see what happens down the road. So a couple of things you can do. Remember, this is the one that is a medical order. What that means is the doctor must sign it, not once, but twice. The same doctor must sign twice, because everybody who signs at the top has to sign these tiny blanks down on the bottom. We see so many of these that are incomplete or done incorrectly, and they're invalid. All right? So this is kind of an all-purpose form. So it's, if you are of sound mind and you are doing this on yourself, you're going to put your full legal name, your date of birth. You get to pick a gender. Sorry, they don't have other. You sign it, you date it, you print your name, and then you're going to go down and you are going to have 2 witnesses sign, witness 1, witness 2. They're going to date, print their name. You don't need a notary. 2 witnesses can sign, or it can be a notary. Then the physician is going to sign, and then everybody is going to sign down at the bottom again. So the 2 witnesses are witnessing your, sometimes people get confused because it's a confusing form. The witnesses are witnessing your signature. The doctor is not, because you don't have to do this in front of a doctor. You're going to take it over to the doctor's office and say, doctor, here's my DNR, please sign it. Okay? And most of the time when we fill these out or we are witnesses, we highlight where the doctor signed, because a lot of times they get confused too, because they sign lots of stuff. All right? So, do not resuscitate again. If it's not there, they're going to do everything they can to restart the heart, get you breathing again, whatever it takes. You can fill it out, just don't post it. That's fine. If you truly want to be a DNR, do not allow natural death. You're going to give copies to everyone. You're going to post it on above your bed. You're going to post it on the back of the door, and you're going to tell everyone, especially your medical power of attorney, doctors, and anybody else, yes, I am a do not resuscitate. And you're going to tell those family members and your MPOA, you better follow my, and that's a good, I'm kind of making light of it, but that's a good conversation to have with your MPOA, especially if you truly want to be a do not resuscitate. How do you feel about if I can't say it? Are you willing to say, no, allow natural death? Can you do that? So that might be, a conversation if you're truly a DNR. I am not a DNR, because I'm fairly healthy and, have lots more to do, so I am not a DNR. But I have told my family, if I happen to have a wreck and I'm on life support and I have no brain activity, you let me go there for a bit, and if there's no way that that's going to happen, I am a DNR. So I have given them that permission to make that, but I don't have a DNR. Does that make sense? Yeah, well, depending on your DNR. Mine is my son and my husband, and because of what I do, they know exactly what I want. But yes, the safe thing to do is put it in writing.
Wouldn't your medical power be able to make that decision?
The decision to make me a DNR? Oh, they would. That's the whole scenario. I'm not able to make my decisions. I have no brain activity. I'm not breathing on my own. Give me a chance, but if there's no chance, you have my permission. I want to allow natural death. Yes, so that's, and I would put that in writing also, but they know it, so I don't have it in writing because they know those are my wishes, and I know they would, well, maybe not my husband, but my son will be able to do it. Yes. No, you don't. So the question is, if you retire, that your doc retired, and a lot of folks are retiring now, do you have to do another form? No, he's already signed it. You've already said it. It should be valid. Yes, sir. And I think, correct me, but even if the doctor passes, it's still a valid form, because when they signed it, it was, they were valid and it was there. Yes, ma'am.
So this form says out of hospital?
Yeah. Oh.
Does it decode in the hospital?
Yes. Good. Thank you so much. I forgot about that. That's my happy dance. This says out of hospital DNR. That means you are out of the hospital. If you are waiting in the ER and you have not been admitted, you're out of the hospital. If you were somewhere shopping or whatever, you are out of the hospital. If you are at a facility, if you have a loved one or a friend or family member who's in a facility and they are do not resuscitate, this is the very first thing that they will ask you about, and if they still use notebooks, which they probably don't, it'll be in the very front of the notebook saying you are do not resuscitate. In the hospital, by in the hospital, you're not waiting in the waiting area, you're not in the parking lot, you're not under observation, you have been admitted to the hospital. You're admitted, you're up on the floor, you're in a room somewhere, hopefully not in the hallway. But then you're in an inpatient, do not resuscitate. Totally different form. That's when your if you can't make your own decision, the MPOA will say that somebody should, depending on why you're in the hospital, if it's elective surgery, somebody should go over that, and say, are you a do not resuscitate? Do you have the forms or whatever? So somebody should go over that. But yes, this document, thank you so much, this document is only from when you are out of the hospital. That's why it's out of the hospital DNR. Very, very important difference. Okay. Thank you. Yes, yeah. When you go in and you're admitted or you're brought in, then your MPOA, your family members. Oh, I'll get you in 1 second. I just remembered something. So some people say, well, I don't have any of this. What happens to me if I have nothing? I have no paperwork and, I'm in the hospital and I can't make my own decisions. In the state of Texas, it's going to be your spouse, then it's going to be the oldest child, then it's going to be living parents, and then it's going to be any relatives they can get a hold of. They can't do any of that. Then it's going to be the docs, and if the docs, depending on what the policy is in the hospital, it could be the ethics board. So that's kind of the chain of command, if you will. Yes, ma'am.
So what is different about the in-hospital form that they can't just use this one?
Well, I do not know the answer to that. They probably have a different form, but if you came in, if your medical power of attorney came in and said, my person, they're out of hospital, what they should do is they should say, well, do they want to be an inpatient? Do they want to be an inpatient, do not resuscitate? Because it could change. I mean, depending on why they're there, do they want to be an inpatient? And if you were making your own decisions, you would say either yes or no. If your medical power of attorney is making it, then they would say yes, they want to be a do not resuscitate. Chances are, if you're going in for elective surgery or something like that, you don't want to be an in-hospital DNR, you want to be a full code. All right. A lot of times, though, when people are coming in and out of the hospital, or maybe they're at that stage where they're probably looking at hospice or something, a lot of times people say, no, I want to be I'm a DNR. So, yeah, again, important conversations to have with your medical power of attorney when we're talking DNRs. Because there is an outpatient and there is an inpatient one. Did I answer your question? Yes. Okay. And her question was, why can't they just use this as, get the information off of their inpatient? And they should ask you. They really should. Any other questions? Okay. So, again, who gets all of this paperwork? Of course, your MPOA, the doctors you see normally, if you see a doctor once every 3 years, they probably don't need it. The doctors you see regularly, friends, MPOA, family members, and the folks you think might need it or might need to be, will be part of the team making decisions if there is a team. All right, let's go to, let's go to organizing affairs. We'll lighten stuff up just a little bit. This is a wonderful booklet. This is also on our website, which is on the back, hospiceaustin.org. We kind of made, for those of you who say, I'm going to get organized this year, like me, and never do, we've kind of put together a booklet that lists things for family members or for yourself of what you might have. So, life insurance policy. I have this little life insurance policy my grandmother got me 50 years ago that my son knows nothing about. I should, because he won't remember, so I should probably put this down that I have this little bitty life insurance policy that he'll never know about unless I put it down. So this kind of gives you one spot. If you've already done it, you can just kind of go through and see. In the back is a really cool little section. After death checklist for survivors kind of gives you an idea if you were taking care of someone's estate, kind of what to look forward to. We have page numbers, good. So on page 11, there's a spot for final wishes. There's also on page 13 my ethical will, which is kind of neat, leaving important things that you have done, important things you might want to tell family about. So it's a good little booklet that kind of can put everything together for you, or you may not have any of this, you may have some of this. If you do fill it in with passwords or whatever, it's a security document, so you want to keep it secure. Is this online?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Can
you
they fill
do
it in?
as a PDF.
Yeah. So if you want to do it PDF because you don't want to leave it in writing or whatever, y'all can do that too. So this is just a little something that helps get you organized and helps, again, maybe ask some more questions and makes you think about little life insurance policies you forgot about. Okay, questions, comments?
My mom's church has a form like this, of your funeral wishes, what songs, what music, and they keep it filed at the church.
Oh,
Oh, that's great.
wonderful. So the comment again is her mom's church has a similar document that says, what do you want for funeral arrangements, funeral memorials, flowers, whatever you may want. Yeah, and they keep it on file there at her church. That's a wonderful idea. So again, Shirley and I want to thank you, and Beverly too, for coming out. It's a tough topic. It's a beautiful day. I hope that our goal here is to kind of make you think, and if you've already done everything, just double check it, and if not, start those conversations. Shirley and I are available afterwards for, if you need to talk or you want to sign documents. The other thing is we are free. We started that we are funded by St. David's Foundation. This truly is a passion of mine. We are open to groups if you're part of a group. I know there's a bunch of, what are they called here in Georgetown, those groups? Are they Sun City only? Those little special sessions?
Oh, you mean the caregiver, that we're doing in April?
Well, anyways,
The caring place?
the 40 groups that are,
Oh, Sun City neighborhood groups.
okay.
88 neighborhood groups.
Anyways,
Yeah, we're slowly going.
yeah. Anyway, where I was trying to go with that. If y'all are part of a group or know of a group that might benefit from our talk here, we are thrilled to come out and talk. Thank you. Enjoy the wonderful weather and the weekend. I want to thank y'all again.